Every year, on one night, the world transforms. We become monsters, heroes, and ghosts. We trade fear for fun and darkness for candy. It's a multi-billion-dollar festival of sugar and scares. A night where we pretend the monsters are real. But what if I told you this entire celebration is a ghost? A faint echo of a time when the monsters were real? A time when this night wasn't about fun, but about survival. To find the true soul of Halloween, we have to travel back 2,000 years to a world lit only by fire and fear. Our story begins with the ancient Celts of Ireland, Britain, and northern France. Their lives were tied to the land, and their calendar had two seasons, the light half and the dark half. Their new year began on November 1st, but it was the night before, October 31st, that held all the power. They called it Samhain. Samhain was the turning point. The final harvest was gathered, and the herds were brought in from the fields. It was the moment the door to winter was slammed shut, but they believed that on this night, another door creaked open. The boundary between our world and the other world, the realm of gods, spirits, and the dead, dissolved into mist. For one night, the dead could walk among the living. This wasn't a party. It was a supernatural crisis. So, how do you survive a night when ghosts are your neighbors? You create a shield of fire and a cloak of deception. Huge bonfires were lit on hilltops. They were part cleansing, part beacon, and part weapon, a roaring defiance against the encroaching darkness. But to venture beyond the firelight was to risk being seen by a wandering spirit. Their solution was ingenious. If you can't beat them, join them. They wore costumes, not of superheroes, but of demons and wild beasts. The goal was to fool the spirits, to disguise yourself as one of them, and be passed over without notice. It was the world's first and most desperate cosplay. For centuries, the traditions of Samhain burned bright in the Celtic world. But empires rise and worlds collide. First came the Romans. The Romans brought their own traditions. They had Feralia, a day in late October to honor their dead. They also had a festival for Pomona, the goddess of fruit and trees. Many historians believe this is where the apple, a fruit not native to Ireland, first entered the celebration. Bobbing for apples could be a distant memory of a Roman harvest festival crashing into a Celtic ghost story. But the Romans were just the opening act. The force that would truly capture and transform Samhain arrived with a different symbol. As Christianity spread across Europe, it came face to face with these powerful pagan traditions. The church had a choice: destroy them or absorb them. They chose absorption. In the 8th century, Pope Gregory III made a brilliant move. He designated November 1st as All Saints' Day, a day to honor all Christian martyrs and saints. The night before became All Hallows' Eve. Hallow, an Old English word for holy person. All Hallows' Eve, Halloween. The great bonfires remained, but the Celtic spirits were rebranded as Christian demons. The disguises now served to ward off the devil. The old ways were given a new name, but the ghost of the tradition refused to die. The story of Halloween as we know it, however, is an American one. And it was written by tragedy. In the 1840s, the Great Famine devastated Ireland. Millions fled, many to the United States. They brought little with them, but they carried their stories and traditions. They brought the tradition of guising, dressing up and going door to door, performing a small trick for a treat. They also brought their lanterns. But in America, they found something far better than the turnips they carved back home: the pumpkin. Easier to carve, bigger, and brighter. The jack-o'-lantern, an icon of American Halloween, was born from an Irish memory. By the early 20th century, Halloween was becoming a rowdy, mischievous night of pranks. To tame it, communities pushed it to be more family-focused. Parades were organized. Trick-or-treating became a safe, supervised ritual for children. And then, capitalism saw its chance. Candy companies began marketing heavily. Costume makers turned it into an industry. The ancient fear had been fully repackaged, commercialized, and sold back to us. So here we are, left with a holiday that feels both ancient and new. And this is the ultimate truth of Halloween. It's a geological survey of our own history. Each tradition is a layer of earth. The candy and costumes of today are the topsoil. Beneath that, the layer of American community spirit. Deeper still, the Christian rebranding. Then, the Roman harvest festivals. And at the very bottom, buried for 2,000 years, is the bedrock. The ancient Celtic fear of the dark. The belief that for one night, the line between our world and the next is thin enough to see through. The night the spirits walk. So the next time you put on a mask or light a candle in a pumpkin, just remember, you're not just celebrating a holiday, you're answering an echo. You're taking part in a ritual so old, its original meaning is almost forgotten. Almost. The Celts carved faces into turnips to scare away a wandering soul named Jack. But who was he? And what did he do to be damned for eternity? Subscribe now, and in our next video, we'll tell the terrifying Irish folktale behind the Jack-o'-lantern.